Okay. So, Assalamu alaikum again. So we just discussed about the introduction. We were discussing about the introduction, that how you need to grab the attention of your audience, and how you need to kind of provide a little background about your topic. So now that we are done with the introduction, discussing about the hook and the background information, I'll be discussing about thesis statement, how to formulate your thesis statement, not in detail, just a little bit reference on that. Okay, so then after providing a little background of your topic, formulate your thesis statement, which is again the central argument you are going to make. And this statement must provide focus, that what are the aspects that you're going to discuss, focus, and it must signal your position on the topic. So what is your viewpoint, or what is your stance, like I have already discussed. Usually it's 1 or 2 sentences long. Now let's look at the example of thesis statement from an essay on Braille, which would look like this. In the last video, we just discussed about hook. We have written a hook for the similar topic. We have looked at the hook for the similar topic. Now this is the thesis statement. Braille's success depended on mainstream acceptance by sighted teachers, and this process was shaped by debates about disabled people's place in society. So my stance is that the success of this development solely dependent on how much it was accepted by sighted teachers, the mainstream sighted teachers, and how this was shaped by debates that was about disabled people's places in society. Right? So this is my stance on the topic. Okay. Now, after introduction, body, which will consist of the major part of your writing, you have to make very strong and relevant arguments in your body paragraph. So the body of your essay is where you make arguments, support your thesis, provide evidence, and develop your ideas. So simply just saying that, okay, so the success of Braille depended on mainstream acceptance by sighted teacher will not be enough until and unless you elaborate on your viewpoint. You provide some evidence, you try to make some arguments, and you try to develop your ideas. And the purpose of the body paragraph is basically to present, interpret, and analyze the information and sources you have gathered to support your argument. So basically in the body paragraph, you are kind of supporting, bringing evidence to support your point. So if I say that there are serious psychological repercussions of bullying on the person or who has been bullied, then I need to support that point. Here, I need to refer to statistics or any personal example or any story where a student has suffered psychologically because of being a victim of bullying on campus. Are you getting my point? So here is the time, or is the place where you are going to present or analyze the information, or you are going to support your ideas. In the introduction, you have just given the hint to your reader about your stance, about your viewpoint. You have just gained the attention of your audience, of your reader. But in the body paragraph is where your actual content lie. Okay. Length of the body text. The length of the body depends on the type of essay. But on average, the body comprises of 60 to 80% of your essay. It again depends on the type of essay you're writing, but mostly the major part of your writing is your body paragraph. It could be just 3 paragraphs. For example, the kind of writing that you people are expected to do, you are expected to write a 5 paragraph essay, right? So one paragraph would be introduction, the last would be conclusion, and in the middle, you are supposed to write 3 body paragraphs. So in your case, it's going to be 3 body paragraphs, just 3 paragraphs. But it also could be of, now essay could also be of 6,000 words. Your term paper, research papers are minimum of 6,000 words. So in that case, a paragraph could even take up pages, more than 5 pages, right? But in your case, it's only going to be 3 paragraphs. Okay. What is yet another aim of body paragraph? To give your essay a clear structure, it is important to make use of paragraphs. So paragraphing is very important. Where are you going to demarcate the different paragraph is totally upon your discretion. But in your case, please make sure that in one body paragraph, you discuss one main argument and you support that main argument through in the form of different supporting details and by the research that you have already done. Each paragraph should, it's already written here as well, each paragraph should be centered around just one argument or idea. ठीक है, तो हर पैराग्राफ में आप कोई एक आर्गुमेंट लाएं और उसी आर्गुमेंट को आगे इलैबोरेट करें, उसको सपोर्ट करें एग्जांपल के साथ, स्टैट के साथ, डिटेल्स के साथ, जिस तरह से भी, बट please make sure that you are dealing with one main argument or one main idea in one paragraph. The topic sentence forms a transition from the previous paragraph and introduces the argument to be made in this paragraph. So from the first sentence of a paragraph, the reader has an idea that now you have transitioned to another paragraph. And very important point, transition words can be used to create clear connection between sentences. So let's suppose you are done with one paragraph, one main idea, and now you're moving on to another paragraph. So you can use transition signals like moreover, furthermore, however, nonetheless, nevertheless, in addition to this, or if you are making a contrasting statement in the other paragraph, so you are going to use contrasting devices. Like on the other hand, on the contrary, as opposed to this, or contrary to this. So it depends what kind of argument you're presenting. But please, again, develop a habit of using transition signals in your writing, because that makes your writing more coherent. After the topic sentence, present evidence by providing the reader with data, example, or quotes. Like I said, that your topic sentence tells the reader about the main argument or idea that you will be discussing in this particular paragraph. But how you're going to support your main idea, it could be in various forms, from statistics to data to facts to quotes to example, anything. But try to elaborate on your main point. Be sure to interpret and explain the evidence and show how it helps develop your overall argument. Right? So whatever evidence you have gathered, explain it and show that how does this argument connect with your main idea. Okay, so please make sure to establish connection between your ideas and your thesis statement. Okay, now let's look at an example. Although the Braille system gained immediate popularity with the blind students at the Institute in Paris, it was slow to gain mainstream acceptance because sighted teachers and leaders had ultimate control over the propagation of Braille resources. So this is how the writer has begun their body paragraph. The writer says that the moment Braille system was introduced, it gained immediate popularity among the blind student in Paris. But it did not immediately gain mainstream acceptance. Why? Because who were controlling this decision? Who had the real authority to propagate Braille resources? The sighted teachers and leaders. Many of the teachers at the Royal Institute for Blind Youth resisted learning Braille because they found the tactile method of reading difficult to learn. So why many of the teachers at the Royal Institute for Blind Youth resisted Braille? Because they found that this method of reading was difficult to learn. This resistance was symptomatic of the prevalent attitude that the blind population had to adapt to the sighted world rather than develop their own tools and methods. So there was this general attitude that the blind population must adapt themselves as per the sighted world. They shouldn't have their own tools and methods, but they should adapt themselves. However, over time, with the increasing impetus to make social contribution possible for all, teachers began to appreciate the usefulness of Braille's system. And in the middle, you must be noticing in bracket, it's written Bullock and Gass, 2009. Why? Because this is the reference. If you have a habit of using Word document, which you must learn now, please अपनी साथ में I'm sorry to get distracted here, but ये बहुत important point है. Please start using Word, MS Word. Start learning some basic tools of Microsoft Office and start writing on Microsoft Word, and there you have this references column. So if you're following APA symbol, तो वो in-text references भी अपने आप software से add हो जाती है, but here are references. Why? Because the writer is acknowledging the source. Are you getting my point? So with the increasing impetus to make social contribution possible for all, teachers began to appreciate the usefulness of Braille system, realizing that access to reading could help improve the productivity and integration of people with vision loss. So initially what happened, that there was a reservation from teachers. They were not convinced of the reading method offered by Braille system. They believed that blind population had to adapt to the sighted world. But after a certain period of time, what happened? That teachers themselves began to appreciate how useful Braille system was. They started to realize that giving access to reading to the blind people is very important, because it is only through their access to reading that we can help improve their productivity, and we can help integrate these people, integrate people with vision loss into the mainstream society. Why? Because they'll be able to learn, they'll be able to read at their own pace, right? So there was resistance initially, but with the passage of time, the resistance was overcome. It took approximately 30 years, but shifting attitudes meant that the French government eventually approved the Braille system, and it was established throughout the country. So though it was a long struggle, it took about 30 years, but in the end, people's masses attitude changed, and then the government accepted the system and it was implemented throughout the country. So you see कितना link है ideas में, coherent paragraph है, ठीक है? Starting from how Braille system gained immediate popularity, but there was reservation, then explaining and elaborating upon that idea, and then concluding it. Are you getting my point? Now comes the conclusion of an essay. The conclusion is very important again. It is in your conclusion, concluding paragraph, that you tend to synthesize the arguments that you have already made in the body paragraph, right? So you kind of sum up your entire point. you kind of rephrase your thesis statement. Again, I would say you are not supposed to repeat your thesis statement or your central idea in the same words. No, in the body paragraph, your ideas will be written in a way that they are connected with your thesis statement. They prove your thesis statement. They don't repeat it, okay? Please keep that in mind. And in your conclusion, you kind of sum up or you rephrase your thesis statement. So you again reinforce your central point, your central idea, but you do not exactly copy what you have written in the introduction. You reinforce the main idea. Explores the broader implications. So if you have dealt with any issue, you have given proper stance, proper arguments to support your point, then what implications does it have? ठीक है, अब इसको इतना कंफ्यूज ना हो आप लोगों के लेवल पे, just keep it simple. Emphasizes the significance of your topic, of your argument. So kind of you're going to tell how significant your viewpoint was, how significant your arguments were. Finishes with a strong closing statement. So end with a very strong closing statement. A great conclusion should finish with a memorable or impactful sentence that leaves the reader with a strong final impression. So leave your reader with a very strong statement. And in your case, I am your reader, right? So please work on your writing. Okay. Now what do I mean by broader implication? मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि इतना difficult नहीं होता, जो आप एकदम से term सुन के शायद परेशान हो जाते हो, लेकिन एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू मैं आपको क्लियर कर देती हूँ कि what do I mean by broader implication? Suggest what further implication your argument has beyond those explored in the essay. So new tools of accessibility are always shaped by their social context, but they also shape social condition in turn. ठीक है, तो एक आपने further implication को deal कर दिया. You were talking about Braille throughout your essay, but in the end you said, you generalize it that whenever there are new tools of accessibility, they depend on the social context. Social context, what kind of people are there in the society, what if you are going to receive acceptance, or there will be reservations, so you know that kind of thing. But they also shape social conditions. They tend to change social conditions as well. ठीक है, मगर अगर ये बहुत आपको complicated लग रहा है तो just don't take too much, just try to keep it simple. Topics importance ये बहुत आसान है, and that's also very important in your conclusion, because you need to suggest to the reader that why your topic or why the arguments that you have made are important, are crucial, are significant. Right? So simply writing in your concluding paragraph that the success of Braille was not limited to the practical advantages of tactile reading. Its enduring significance was in providing blind people broader access to culture and concomitant gains in social status. So you are kind of stressing the importance of your topic, how that Braille सिर्फ इसलिए important नहीं था because of जो उससे practical advantages associated है, but वो इसलिए इतना significant है क्योंकि through providing access to reading, blind people now were able to have a broader access to culture. क्योंकि reading जो होता है ना, वो आपको culture से connect करता है, world knowledge से connect करता है. And concomitant gains, concomitant का मतलब होता है naturally accompanying or associated. ठीक है, concomitant gains in social status. तो रीडिंग इसलिए उसने एक रीडिंग को एक्सेस दिया, रीडिंग के एक्सेस के थ्रू जो ब्लाइंड पॉपुलेशन थी उनको एक्सेस टू कल्चर मिला, एक्सेस टू नॉलेज मिला, और इसी वजह से concomitant gains in social status. Obviously जो ज्यादा वेल इन्फॉर्म्ड होते हैं, ज्यादा नॉलेजेबल होंगे, तो सोशल स्टेटस भी उससे इम्पैक्ट होता है. तो ये सिर्फ ब्रेल ने सिर्फ ये उसकी सक्सेस नहीं है कि प्रैक्टिकल एक एडवांटेजेस सिर्फ जो एसोसिएटेड है रीडिंग से, नो बल्कि इस इन्वेंशन के थ्रू एक ब्रॉडर इसका सिग्निफिकेंस है। इस इन्वेंशन के थ्रू blind people had a broader access to culture, literature, world knowledge, and because of that knowledge, access to knowledge, they had opportunity to enhance their social status. Are you getting my point? Strong closing statement. Conclude your essay with a memorable statement. The Braille system was both a consequence and a cause of changing attitudes to disability. And its development shows that accessibility and acceptance are always intertwined. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग और एक मेमोरेबल स्टेटमेंट है कि ब्रेल सिस्टम जो है ना सिर्फ एक कॉन्सिक्वेंस नहीं था कि क्योंकि एक प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट करती थी, ब्लाइंड लोगों के पास एक्सेस नहीं था, तो उसका वो कॉन्सिक्वेंस था, नहीं, कॉज भी था। कैसे? एक तो वो सिर्फ कॉन्सिक्वेंस नहीं था, ऑब्वियसली देयर वाज अ प्रॉब्लम, तो उसका एक सॉल्यूशन आया, मगर जब एक सॉल्यूशन आया तो दैट एक्चुअली चेंज्ड masses attitude towards disability. Their attitude towards disability changed. And it was through this invention that accessibility, that showed that accessibility and acceptance are always intertwined. ये दोनों चीजें साथ में होती है, ठीक है? Okay, अच्छा, now this is also very important. Please know what you must never include in your conclusion. To make your essay's conclusion as strong as possible, there are a few things you should avoid including. The most common mistakes are including new arguments or evidence. See, always remember that you have closed your arguments, you have closed your ideas, new ideas till your body paragraph. The purpose of conclusion is always to reinforce the ideas that you have already mentioned, or establish the significance of your topic, or sum up your topic. That's it. In the conclusion paragraph, you are never going to include a new statement. You are never going to refer to a new statement or new argument. ठीक है? तो कंक्लूजन में आप सम अप कर रहे होते हैं जो भी आपने बातें कह दी हैं, जो भी पॉइंट्स आपने प्रूव कर दिए हैं। कंक्लूजन में कहीं भी नई आर्गुमेंट या एविडेंस नहीं आना चाहिए, नई स्टार्ट्स अचानक से नहीं आए, बिकॉज नाउ यू आर समिंग अप, ठीक है? अंडरमाइनिंग योर आर्गुमेंट्स, ठीक है? तो इन द कंक्लूजन ट्राई टू अवॉइड सेइंग दिस इज जस्ट वन अप्रोच ऑफ मेनी. डोंट अंडर एस्टिमेट और काइंड ऑफ अंडरमाइन योर आर्गुमेंट, ठीक है? Have a very strong stance, because if as a reader you are going to have a strong stance upon your topic or upon your viewpoint, then only you can convince your reader. ठीक है? The revision stage. Now the revision stage is very important. During this stage you either redraft और you restructure your arguments. ऐसे कि जिस स्टेज पे आप लोग हैं, probably first draft जो होगा आपके पूरे essay का, वो बड़ा रफ सा ड्राफ्ट होगा, उसमें probably grammatical errors भी होंगे, ideas भी शायद इतने connected ना हो, लेकिन जब आप रिवाइज करेंगे तो आप एक तरीके से रीड्राफ्ट करेंगे, वो आपका फाइनल ड्राफ्ट आप दोबारा से you'll be drafting again. और रिविजन स्टेज में आप रीस्ट्रक्चर भी कर रहे होते हैं अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को. When you're reading, you're revising, you're proofreading, you kind of, have this feeling that maybe I need to exclude this argument or I need to bring in a new argument. So during this stage, you always tend to redraft or restructure your arguments. In this stage, you must edit your writing for grammatical errors, clarity, and consistency. So when you're revising, when you're proofreading or editing, please focus on grammar, clarity, and consistency. कंसिस्टेंसी से मतलब कि ऐसा ना हो कि एक दफा आप एक जगह कोई और बात कह रहे हैं, देन यू सडनली जंप टू अनदर पर्सपेक्टिव. पर्सपेक्टिव आपका चेंज नहीं होना चाहिए. डू नॉट मेक दिस ब्लंडर. प्रूफ रीडिंग फॉर टाइपोज. वो आपके ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स नहीं होते, आपने इट्स जस्ट टाइपो, वो अपने आप हो जाता है गलती से, लेकिन तो वो इस तरह की कोई स्पेलिंग हो जाती है कभी या कुछ हो जाता है, तो मेक श्योर दैट देयर आर नो टाइपोज. चेकिंग फॉर स्टाइलिस्टिक कंसिस्टेंसी. ठीक है, थ्रू आउट आपने एक तरीके से लिखा है, एक ही कंसिस्टेंसी फॉलो की है, स्टाइल की या नहीं. ठीक है. Where's the topic sentence? Now you are going to stop this video here and you are going to tell me once I have read it. तो जब मैं पढ़ लूं तो आप इस वीडियो को यहाँ पे स्टॉप कीजिएगा और बताइएगा, खुद सोचिएगा कि टॉपिक सेंटेंस क्या है. ये आपके मिड टर्म में भी आ चुका है, अब तो आपको इसका अंदाजा होना चाहिए. Several different systems of tactile reading can be seen as forerunners to the method Louis Braille developed. But these systems were all developed based on the cited system. The Royal Institute for Blind Youth in Paris taught the student to read embossed Roman letters, a method created by the school's founder, Wellington Howe. Reading this way proved to be a rather arduous task as the letters were difficult to distinguish by touch. So this is the paragraph. What is the topic sentence? Stop the video and think for yourself. Reread it on your own and see कि topic sentence कौन सा sentence main idea convey कर रहा है और बाकी sentences जो है वो main idea को support कर रहे हैं. So what do you think? What is the topic sentence? If you have identified, let's check if it's correct or not. This is the topic sentence. Several different systems of tactile reading can be seen as forerunners to the method Louis Braille developed, but these systems were all developed based on the cited system. So this is the main argument of this paragraph के forerunners यानी पहले उससे आए थे. ठीक है, तो जो लुइस ब्रेल का मेथड था, डेवलप किया था, उससे पहले और बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंट सिस्टम थे टेक्टाइल रीडिंग के, मगर वो जो सारे सिस्टम्स थे वो बेसिकली डेवलप जो हुए थे वो साइटेड सिस्टम के ऊपर बेस करते थे. ठीक है, फिर the remaining sentences are kind of explaining or proving your main argument. ठीक. Now identify which is the thesis statement from among these three statements. Number one, published in 1814, Mansfield Park was Austen's third novel and it has had a mixed reception among critics. This is the first one. Second, Mansfield Park has been described as the most eccentric of Austen's novel. तो क्या ये thesis statement है? Third, theatrical performance plays an essential role in the moral drama of Mansfield Park. Austen reveals and tests the values of her characters through their attitudes towards theatre. या ये thesis statement है. Pause the video and think for yourself. Foreign answers के लिए wait ना करें. Try to figure out the answers on your own. Try to decide. What do you think? अब वो सोचें जो मैंने बताया था कि thesis statement क्या नहीं होता है, जो lesson 12 में मैंने बताया था. कौन सी thesis statement है जो sum up कर रहा है entire writing का entire एक stance को बता रहा है. Now if you have chosen it, then you can play the video and look for the answer. Okay, so see, this in the different color is the right answer. Why? Because if you look at the first statement, it just says published in 1814, Mansfield Park was Austen's third novel. That's it. And it has had a mixed reception among critics. तो ये सिर्फ ये बता रहे हैं कि Mansfield Park कब publish हुआ था and ये कि Austen का third novel था और इसकी mixed reception थी. यानी कुछ critics ने इसको पसंद किया और कुछ का negative review था. तो थीसिस स्टेटमेंट सिर्फ फैक्ट्स को रेफर नहीं करता, ठीक है। लेसन 12 में यही बात बताई थी, एक छोटा सा रिव्यू भी हो गया। अब आप सेकंड स्टेटमेंट को देखिए, मैंसफील्ड पार्क हैज बीन डिस्क्राइब्ड एज द मोस्ट एसेंट्रिक ऑफ ऑस्टिन्स नॉवल। अब इसमें क्या मसला है? एसेंट्रिक, ठीक है, एसेंट्रिक क्या होता है? स्ट्रेंज या अनकन्वेंशनल। तो इसमें सिर्फ ये इंफॉर्मेशन है कि मैंसफील्ड पार्क इज द मोस्ट स्ट्रेंज या अनकन्वेंशनल नॉवल ऑफ ऑस्टिन्स नॉवल, अनकन्वेंशनल ऑफ ऑस्टिन अमंग ऑस्टिन्स नॉवल, दैट्स इट। अब थर्ड वाला देखिए, theatrical performance plays an essential role in the moral drama of Mansfield Park. Moral drama. So there is the insight upon that. Austen reveals and tests the values of her characters through their attitude towards theatre. So what is your stance about the novel is something that is clearly mentioned in this statement. According to the writer of this thesis statement, Austen reveals and tests the values of her characters through their attitude towards theatre. Austen ने mainly इस theme को tackle किया है according to me or the writer of this thesis statement. ठीक है, तो इसमें एक stance पता लग रहा है, इसमें किस perspective से वो आप उस novel को देख रहे हैं वो पता लग रहा है, ठीक है। Now the overall review. In this complete two videos or two lessons, 40 minutes each, we have basically discussed the three main stages of writing an essay, the writing process, which includes preparation, writing, and the stage of revision. ठीक है, तो प्रोसेस कहाँ से शुरू होता है, कहाँ पे खत्म होता है, ये हमने डिस्कस किया। Key steps for preparing for your essay. क्या क्या स्टेप से आप as a writer गुजरते हैं when you're writing an essay. Introduction of an essay in detail. Introduction में कौन सी important चीजें हैं जो डिस्कस की थी? Hook, which is gaining the attention of your audience, providing a little background information of your topic, and the thesis statement, and also giving the direction to your writing, telling the readers what you will be handling or discussing in this writing. ठीक है, तो चार चीजें इंट्रोडक्शन की हमने काफी डिटेल में डिस्कस की, हुक, बैकग्राउंड इंफॉर्मेशन, थीसिस स्टेटमेंट, एंड व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू कवर। ठीक है, फिर हमने बात की बॉडी ऑफ एसे पे। हर बॉडी पैराग्राफ, आपके केस में 3 बॉडी पैराग्राफ होंगे और हर बॉडी पैराग्राफ में एक मेन आर्ग्यूमेंट होगा जो टॉपिक सेंटेंस के थ्रू पता लग रहा होगा, और फिर उसकी सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स में आप उन पॉइंट्स को सपोर्ट कर रहे होंगे। ठीक है, और फिर पैराग्राफिंग किस तरह से होगी और किस तरह से ऑर्गेनाइज आप करेंगे, स्ट्रक्चर का ख्याल रखना है, वो सारी चीजें हमने डिस्कस की। फिर हमने एक एग्जांपल देखी ब्रेल वाली। Then we discuss some of the major tips for conclusion, कि किस तरह से आप अपनी आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को सिंथेसाइज करते हैं, अपने मेन आइडियाज को रीइंफोर्स करते हैं, एक स्ट्रॉन्ग आर्ग्यूमेंट के साथ एंड करते हैं, ब्रॉडर इम्प्लीकेशन बताते हैं, सिग्निफिकेंस बताते हैं अपने टॉपिक की, अपनी राइटिंग की, और क्या नहीं करते हैं कंक्लूजन में। कभी भी कंक्लूजन में एकदम से एक नई आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं आएगी, ठीक है, और कभी भी आप अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को अंडरमाइन नहीं करेंगे। यू विल हैव अ वेरी क्लियर एंड अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टैंस। तो ये हमने कंक्लूजन में डिस्कस किया, एंड इन द एंड वी डिड सम प्रैक्टिस टास्क, जिसमें हमने टॉपिक सेंटेंस को आइडेंटिफाई किया, एंड देन वी आइडेंटिफाइड थीसिस स्टेटमेंट। ठीक है, एंड देन वी आल्सो डिस्कस द स्टेज ऑफ रिविजन, which I forgot to mention here. That how you redraft. Your first draft is not your final draft. You redraft, you edit, you exclude some points, you include some new points. You look for grammatical mistakes, you check your writing for grammatical mistakes, inconsistency, or typos. You proofread it again and again before your final submission. Right? So these were the things that we have discussed today. I might be sharing with you some sample essays. And once we discuss the type of essays in detail, along with example, because this was just the introduction, the overall structure of essay writing, the process of essay writing. But in the coming sessions, I will be discussing different types of essays with you. So once I have taught you different types of essays, how to write different types of essays, how to establish um, arguments for different kinds of essay writing, I will be assigning you a task on essay writing, a 5-paragraph essay writing. And in the exam, you will have essay writing as your one of the very main question. So please start practicing. I cannot emphasize enough how much you need to work on your writing. ठीक है? I will be checking your midterm soon, and I'll be giving a collective feedback uh, in probably my video lecture, in the beginning of my video lecture, जब भी मैं check कर लूँ. ठीक है? So I hope that the stages, the tips about introduction, body paragraph, the structure of essay writing, the importance of revision, the tips for conclusion, and topic sentences and thesis statement are clear by now. क्योंकि मैंने बहुत क्लियरली इन चीजों को पढ़ाया है और मैं उसी तरीके से असेस भी करूँ. ठीक है? So I hope to see you in the next session. We'll be starting with one type of essay writing in the next week. तो एक type of essay writing, different types of essay होते हैं, उनमें से एक हम next week cover करेंगे, then we'll be covering the next one the next week. तो एक week में हम एक type cover करेंगे ताकि आपके पास you have enough time to practice. ठीक है? So see you people in the next week. Thank you.